Yo, you don't know it's your girl Ray, and I'm here bigging up the Enforcers, Canada's #1 soca crew. You don't know. Stay with them. Stay tuned.
G987 FM, The Way We Groove. This is the Enforcers, and we have on the air a rising soca star. Ray, welcome to the Soca Groove.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So, for the benefit of our listeners, if you could explain how you got your start as a soca artist.
So, where do I begin? Well, I've always been singing. I've been singing since I was small. I used to go to school in the States,
Yeah,
high school for singing.
yeah.
But I would every now and again I would go in studios like in murdering studios and things like that, and I would record, but never on a professional level.
Right.
So I've always wanted to do it. It's always been a passion of mine, but I would always just find excuses after excuses as to why now isn't the right time, and so on and so forth. So one day I went to bed with it on my mind, woke up with it on my mind, went to bed the next day with it on my mind, and I was like, this is I have to stop. Like excuses, stop. And this is something that everybody around me is always saying, like, Ray, like do this for real. Like stop joking around. Like let's do it. And I just woke up and I was like, that's it. My cousin is best friends with Daryl Gervais, who is my manager.
Okay.
And how that actually started was I was never reaching out to Daryl to say, hey, write me a song, get me in there, like that was never how it started. What I wanted was someone who could point me in the right direction of how I should begin.
Yeah.
What are some things that I should do? What are some things that I should look at? Who should I be looking to talk to and networking with, and so on and so forth? But immediately the conversation kind of just flowed that way for me to end up in the position that I'm in. He asked me to sing for him, and he was like, I'm not going to basically write for anybody or put my neck out on the line for anybody that I don't even know if they could sing.
Yes.
So he asked me to sing for him, and I sang for him, and immediately he was like, okay, good, you have it. Can you do soca though? Because what I sang for him was Alicia Keys' Falling.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I mean, I Trini,
Yes.
I think so. So then I sang a soca song for him as well. And he was like, all right, we could move forward. And he sent me some rhythms, and I chose which rhythm I felt was best for me. A family member, Roy Cape, he was telling me that when I choose the rhythm, it should be something that shows everybody that this is my roots. However, it gives me the opportunity to show that I could sing as well, so
Yes.
that it's not just the soca alone, is the talent behind it as well.
Excellent.
And that was like last year.
So let's go from there into who are some of your musical influences?
Huh. Um, Overall or just soca or
It could be anyone.
okay. Definitely Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Definitely Mariah Carey, Alicia Keys, Aretha Franklin. Um, Aaliyah was also somebody that I loved very much growing up. And as
Yeah.
far as soca, Patrice Roberts, I think that Alison Hines, these are all people that I grew up listening to and dancing to and acting like I was them, when their songs was on. And just just to give even more of a background, like I remember the first time I was in a fete and Patrice was performing and I heard her perform live, and it was the first time that I saw soca in a different light, because while she was performing I was like, she could sing, like
Yes.
she could
Yes.
sing.
Yes.
And that's where it started to feel different for me, because it wasn't necessarily something that I always thought of pursuing in terms of the genre.
Yeah.
But when I heard that like she could actually sing, I was like, I could do this. Like, I could be able to have my passion of singing as well as my genre, like soca is what I love, what I fet with everything, and I could make that work for me. And that was when I want to say it was like a big eye opener for me, that it doesn't have to be only in one dynamic, a jump up, and it doesn't have to be one way.
Yes.
But yes, those are some of my musical inspirations.
Excellent, excellent. So you have a new project out for 2020 called Distraction. If you could
Yes.
break down what that song is all about and how the project came together.
Okay. So, as we all know, we're in this pandemic, and it kind of stopped a lot of things in my tracks. Like I
Yeah.
went from having a very great season in Trinidad. I was there for the entire season for Carnival, and I was performing back to back to back, and everybody was telling me like, "Girl, find new artists, like you being seen, like you everywhere, you everywhere, you everywhere." And when we came back now, it was the talks of this pandemic is going on and we need to start wearing masks, and it wasn't as serious as we thought it would be. And I
Mhm.
had one performance, and after that performance everything got locked off. So we started trying to figure out how do we continue, especially for me as a new artist. I'm not as out there yet as a Patrice or a Nyla, and I have to work even harder to stay relevant for many reasons.
Yeah.
Being new, being a Trini who lives abroad, it's multiple things that I have to work a little harder towards. So we started coming up with different concepts,
Yeah.
and that's how it kind of started with me, like me and Daryl going back and forth with different concepts. And people would send me stuff, people would send him rhythms, and whoever sent him things, whenever we thought it was a good opportunity, he would send it back to me. I would say, yeah, I like it, or no, not for me, or whatever the case may be. So
Mhm.
it wasn't one of the first ones that came our way. It happens to be the first one that's been released.
Yes.
But when it came out, I had told Daryl that going forward, I want to work as closely with him as possible in creating the new music, whether it be the concept, whether it be the words, the lyrics, whatever. I want to have more of an input. I don't want to just be the singer. I
Right.
wish I could continue the story and say that that's what happened with this one, but it's not at all whatsoever. Daryl, he takes the cake with this one.
Yes.
He brought it to me. I mean, we already had the rhythm, but he brought me the song like fully finished already, ready to go. Like, Ray, this is what I did for you. And I was like in love with it. I was absolutely in love with it. I call it the Caribbean cater to you.
Yes.
So that to me is how I could explain the song the best. I feel that this is our twist on how we should be, I guess in a sense, the piece for our man.
Yes.
Also, what I like to say is if he's a waste man, then the song doesn't apply, because
Right.
it really is, it isn't meant for me to tell woman like, oh, because you're the woman, this is how you have to handle man, and this is how, that's not what I'm trying to portray at all.
Right.
What it is that if you have the right man there, and it kind of tells you that in the song at some point too, like he going out, he working hard, treat him right. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Be
Yes.
his peace. Be
Yes.
that person that when he comes home, you relieve him from the stress of the world that he's, been out there and he's been experiencing. And know sometimes that, that part of that may be just leaving him alone in the moment.
Mhm.
Part of that may be catering to him physically, emotionally, whatever it may be. Is you have to really kind of figure out individually what that means to you. But the best way for me to describe distraction is the Caribbean cater to you.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Ray. We appreciate your time. If you could let our listeners know how they can keep up to date with you on social media.
Yeah, so everybody, you can follow me at itsray.official, and that's on almost anything. You type it in, it should come up. I spell Ray with an E. So it's ray.official. You could stay in tune with all the upcoming stuff that we have. There's a lot to be in store for. And definitely go and check out the new single, Ray Distraction. You guys will enjoy it. I enjoy it. So
We wish you the best of the success. We think you have a very bright
great
future.
one. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no problem. It's my pleasure.
All right.
All right. Take care.